As Commissioner Martin mentioned, the council as well as the department has been very interested in green infrastructure, and we've looked to see how different enterprises, including the City of Philadelphia, New York, and in this particular instance, Syracuse, the county and the university, have begun to engage with regard to identifying appropriate mechanisms for green infrastructure. And among the various models that we have heard, we thought that the Syracuse model made perhaps the best sense for the state of New Jersey, given the way in which we are configured. So I hope that you'll enjoy Chris's remarks as much as we did when we had the opportunity to meet with he and some of his other colleagues. Chris Dodson is from the University of Syracuse. He focuses on smart growth, water, wastewater, planning, and financing infrastructure for local communities. Has a master's in environmental communications from the State University of New York in environmental studies and forestry. And without further ado, Chris, please share your remarks. Thank you.
So, first of all, I was confused about the amount of time, so I had more slides than I probably have time for. So I apologize in advance if someone drags me off with the shepherd's hook, and I'll go willingly. And I'd also like to second everything that the Commissioner said. His 4 points are really the 4 things that I work on a daily basis when I'm not working for Onondaga County's Save the Rain program. So that's what I'm here to talk about today is Onondaga County's Green Infrastructure Program. And we are a partner. We do a lot of technical assistance, design, public education, and outreach for Onondaga County Save the Rain program. And this doesn't seem to be working.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. So anyway, I call green infrastructure truly a public utility. Why? Because we don't all volunteer afternoons and evenings and Saturday mornings at the sewage treatment plant. We don't go and put chemicals into the water to disinfect it. We're not allowed to, for good reason. But we can build rain gardens. We can use rain barrels. We can put green roofs on our commercial buildings. And doing so helps the public utility. We become part of the public utility. We're serving the public good by doing those things to help the community that we live in, the community we pay rates and taxes in, manage stormwater. But this isn't your grandmother's rain barrel. This isn't the rain barrel you use to water the kitchen garden. We're talking about millions of gallons of stormwater annually in cities the size of Syracuse. 147,000 people live in Syracuse. We're a mid-sized city, but like mid-smallish. And we have to capture 250 million gallons annually of stormwater a year by 2018. Why? In the last 50 years, 60 years, since the advent of and reliance on the automobile, we pave everything. We can look out these windows and see rooftops that are impermeable, sidewalks, roads, impermeable space. When rain hits this, it doesn't absorb. I think we know that. It runs off somewhere into pipes that were built 100 years ago for the amount of stormwater we were capturing 100 years ago. And it travels through the same pipe that our sanitary sewer travels through, which is a euphemism really for everything we flush down the toilet. And when there's no more space in that pipe, because we've paved everything, that water overflows and ends up in our local waterways, becoming an environmental and public health hazard. So what is the trouble with runoff? Really, other than the fact that it combines with sanitary sewer and sometimes overflows into our local waterways, it's that one drip of oil or that windshield washer fluid or that dog poop on the corner. It's that cigarette butt. It's that French fry bag. It's that water bottle, that piece of plastic, that piece of gum wrapper foil. All of these things seem innocuous when you do it. It's all right for you to toss something out the window or for your dog because you forgot your pooper scooper to leave that there on the corner. But then you multiply that by every single person in your community that has that one drip a day or that one thing they drop on the ground by accident and decide not to pick up or that one pile of dog crap on the corner. It's a cumulative effect of all of those things washing off of our landscape with fertilizers and everything else that we apply to the landscape into our waterways that is really kind of disgusting. And then you add sanitary sewer to it and it becomes even more gross. And I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here for some of you, so I'm moving kind of quickly. So if you're unfamiliar with what a CSO is, a combined sewer overflow, which by the way, there are 770 communities in the United States that are CSO communities. This is kind of a graphic of a CSO. During dry weather, all the rain from your roof, from your sidewalk, driveway, road, goes down the storm drain into our sewer system. It'll go to the treatment facility, and it combines with anything that comes from your house, from the dishwasher, from the toilet, from the shower, etc. But then when we have a wet weather event, snow melt, rain, that stormwater and that groundwater from your home, from your business, etc., combine, reach the capacity of the system, and overflow a dam into the nearby lake, stream, creek, etc., depending on how your system is constructed and what your nearby water bodies might be. But if we put in a vegetated swale, capture that water from your sidewalk, from your roof leaders, downspouts, and from your driveways before it even hits the road, if we put in porous roadway or porous parking lanes, porous sidewalks, let that water go into the ground and recharge the groundwater, we're reducing the reliance on that sewer system, effectively increasing the capacity of it to carry the sanitary sewer that most needs treating. So you'll see here that much of the stormwater doesn't even reach the system then. So types of green infrastructure, for those of you who may be unaware, we have bioswales. Essentially, think about roadside ditches that are meant to be vegetated, not meant to be dug out every year by the town backhoe, causing erosion, causing high-speed water and sediment rushing down the sides of roads, but meant to slow that water, allow it to soak up, feed the plants, infiltrate into the ground. Rain gardens, same thing, except for it's more of a static space where you put water toward, maybe from a downspout. Allow that water to recharge the ground, feed the garden, instead of running down your sidewalk, down your driveway, into the street. Rain barrels, of course. Green roofs, these are great things for areas where maybe a large building such as this one is built from lot line to lot line. It can't do anything else other than put a green roof on top to manage the stormwater that falls on that lot. Porous pavement's great. We actually have some demonstration of it in Lake Placid in the Adirondacks, where they actually put in porous asphalt on a high-speed roadway to see if we can actually start building porous high-speed traffic lanes. Up until this point, porous pavement is really used for parking stalls, sidewalks, driveways, places where you don't have that force of speed. So we'll see how that turns out, and if that's positive, it could really change the way we manage stormwater within our transportation infrastructure. So, Onondaga County and Syracuse, a case study. So this is us. This is our infamous Onondaga Lake, at one time known as the most polluted lake in the nation. I'm not sure there's actually any real data to say that, but it's a sense of sick pride in Syracuse, so let them have it. But this is the city of Syracuse, essentially. Each one of these colors is a different sewer shed. So we've mapped all of our outfalls, we've mapped all of our sub-sewer sheds, which trunk sewers do they travel through, where does it ultimately end up, what's the service, what's the capacity, and we've named them all. So just like a watershed, we've kind of looked at our built infrastructure in that same way to identify target areas where we need to do really robust green infrastructure projects, such as the downtown area. Here, this is very, very impervious. This area is more residential. Here, we need big projects. Here, let's give away a few rain barrels. So this is where we are, right in the middle of New York. And I was telling the panelists earlier, I travel a lot for work. End to end, 9 hours. And so if I get to drive an hour, hour and a half